met. I head up the athletic division for AEA. And so today's session, the great eight, the traits of elite teammates. We're breaking down habits. What does it take to be a great teammate on and off the court, on and off the field? And today, we got, let's go next there, Catherine. First, let's talk about what are office hours, right? 30-minute live sessions with national athletes and performance experts was what I'm supposed to tell you. What's awesome is that all these people are across the country, different experiences, going to talk about things that really matter to everyone, not just pie in the sky, not just ideas, things that work, things that are tried and true. So today, next slide. We're going to talk about Courtney Mayer. Just met her a little while ago. Um, Friend of AEA. Turns out she played a little bit of basketball. She's a Gator gal from down in Florida, right by the national championship game. She's a licensed mental health counselor and certified sports psychology coach. And she was telling me she had brothers growing up, so she would have to get in their head, and that's what she does with her athletes. We're going to talk about all things mindset. So, Courtney, man, excited to have you. Thanks for being here today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Should be a lot of fun. We're gonna get right to it. Next, Catherine, what are no, no, wrong direction. There we go. There we go. Brings energy. So right before that, training the mental side of performance. So why are we first doing this? The brain is trainable. The body's trainable. Habits are trainable. We know we can get the brain better for a higher level return in performance on and off the court, and that's why we have Courtney. So Courtney, you're up.
All right. Yeah. To go off of what Jim said, at the elite level, everyone is physically talented. Everyone can do the skill. So then it comes down to who can execute it under pressure, who can recover from mistakes easily, who can stay locked in when it matters the most. Those are the ones that'll separate themselves from the rest. So the mental side impacts your consistency, decision making, emotion regulation, confidence. And then also your brain tells your body to move. So it's literally involved in every part of your sport. It's a muscle that you need to be healthy and strong in order to hit your peak. So we're going to talk about 8 traits of elite teammates. And as you'll see, the slides are all pretty consistent. I'm not going to read everything on the slide, but on there we've got basically definitions. Then you have an example. You'll have a metaphor and then a statistic. And then we finish off with a leader in sports, a quote from them. So our first trait is bringing the energy. Energy is a choice that lifts every drill, rep, and teammate around you, which creates a contagious culture. Patrick Beverly, who's an NBA player, doesn't always score the most, but he is well known for even when he's not scoring, he's sparking up the team and he's bringing the energy. The statistic the NCAA found with this is that teams with high bench energy win 17% more close games.
All right, next slide.
Our second trait is championship body language. Your posture, your walk, your eye contact speak before you ever say a word. This influences your confidence, both for you and your teammates. We see that athletes with positive body language see a 23% increase in team trust levels. And then I love this quote. Now that I'm older, I love this quote. I did not love this quote when I was not mentally tough. You can't lead with slumped shoulders. I'll tell you firsthand how true this is and how much coaches hate it. I'll remember one game, I threw my head back after missing a shot. This was in high school, and my coach pulled me out of the game, respectfully as he should. Then I went to the bench and I put my arms back and I put my head back like that. Like I was not having it. When he turned around and saw that, he made me run at halftime at an away game in front of their fans. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now because I was the point guard, I was the captain, I was the team leader, and I was throwing a hissy fit. And why would who feels pumped up when their leader is looking like that on the bench?
So one, so obviously it mattered that game because personally you were impacted. But just talk little bit briefly about how that body language rubs off on the other players on the team as well.
Yeah. Like we said, it's a communication. So it tells your coach and your teammates without using words how you feel about yourself, your performance, their performance, the game. So that affects team energy. It clearly affects your playing time. And then one thing I think we forget about is because, like, when we're in practice, only our people are watching, but when you're in a game, your opponents and their fans are watching, and if you have bad body language, you become a target of your opponents. If I'm coaching and I see someone who had the body language that I had, I would, like, be like, "Yes." And then I would tell whoever's defending, "Defend them harder. Get in their head more because they're already down. Let's keep them from performing well." So it keeps them in a slump, and then also on the other side, on a personal level, if you're in a slump, you can keep yourself in a slump because your body language impacts your mood and your confidence. The idea of fake it till you make it, I know it's cliche, but there is actual science behind that where you can impact your mood based off your behaviors and your body language.
Absolutely. One of the things Tony Robbins says is that motion creates emotion. So if you want to change your state, start moving around a little differently, and your
Mhm.
emotional state will then follow. Let's go on the next slide, see what that says. So encouraging others always. So a great teammate gives belief to others, even when they're struggling. It's not just vocal, but there's the physical and the consistency behind that. My wife's gonna love this because JJ Watt's one of her guys. Build his brand on high fives, name usage, and constant praise. So if you're the thermostat, not the thermometer, you set the temperature. Let's talk about, you're told to be encouraging your teammates. Let's talk about real versus fake, because people can tell. People can read through that. People can smell, especially like little kids that can tell. So and we're at the game as well. Let's talk about real versus fake encouragement and how to, the effects of that.
Mhm. Most of the time it comes down to consistency. It's when you show up when everything's going right, and then you also show up when things aren't going well. You're encouraging them when they score, when you guys win, and you're encouraging them when they've missed 3 in a row. You have to show up in the hard moments. And then the second thing is the action behind your words. You check in on them later. And the biggest thing I see, because I work in collegiate athletics, the gossiping with others after practice. That is the other thing that if you're gossiping about others and you're getting caught up in that drama after practice, it doesn't matter how consistent you are with encouraging your teammates. If you're not talking well about them off the court, it's not going to feel, well, it's not real. And it's not going to feel real, and they will know it. You have to stay consistent and be your team's cheerleader. Those are your teammates. Be the teammate you want to have.
Always want to be the change that you hope to see in other folks. You lead there first. And put it on your own self and look at it selfishly. If you're looking to win, to propel you forward, if you're looking to score more points, be better on defense, having your teammates operate at a higher level leads to them helping you out in return. They're open more. They defend better. So getting them to perform well only comes back to you performing well, which is what you're looking for anyways. So everyone wants the team to win. But if you're looking just for yourself, just from a selfish standpoint, still get your teammates going in the right direction because it'll still come back to you.
If they
Alright.
don't like you, they're not going to pass you the ball.
They sure won't, right?
Nope.
Alright, let's see the next one. Competes until the end. Don't run to the line, run through the line is what we would say. Effort isn't optional, right? They finish the sprints. Hustle after the scoreboard. Yeah, for sure. I do like Westbrook. Never stops playing with 100% intensity. So also Urban Meyer would say everything you do plus two. So if I'm saying, hey, we're doing 10 push-ups in the warm-up, I'll have my athletes do, they'll know to do 12. If we're doing a set, they're always gonna do a little bit more. You run through the tape, not just to it. Um,
Mhm.
when things aren't going well, momentum is on the negative, right? How do you how do you make that change? How do you get your body language, your mindset? How do you get that to turn around on a dime and then move forward?
Mhm. It's about staying present. You gotta have that one play mentality, one player, one rep at a time. Impact the game however you can, even if it's not how you planned. Just because you're not producing on offense doesn't mean you suddenly can't play defense. Just because you're sidelined or benched doesn't mean you can't hype up your teammates or be so loud that the opponents can't hear the play call. You can always have an impact on the game, and we know momentum is a thing. You gotta find that momentum. Losing should only be embarrassing when you don't try. The excuse should never be lack of effort or giving up. Those aren't good excuses.
The other thing, there are some games that usually there's a lot more practices than games. And you can fall apart at the end, have a bad practice at the end, you're going home, you're trying to shake it off, you can still win. So it says compete all the way until the end. Well, even when you get home, the day's not over. You can still win your nutrition when you get home. You can still get to bed at a great time and, knock out your sleep routine. So when you compete all the way to the end, whether it's at practice or at home or at the game, that becomes your identity of who you are, and that'll just translate past the game into the professional world. You'll be carrying that habit all the way the rest of your life.
I love
All
that.
right. All right, next slide, let's see.
Owns
Oh,
the controllables.
there you
So
go.
you can't, as we've been talking about, you can't control playing time. The things that you can control, your effort, your attitude, and your focus, which will increase your likelihood of playing time. Athletes trained in controllable mindset tools reduce performance anxiety by 29%. I do so much of the mindset, controllable mindset tools with my football players, my softball, baseball, and swim and track for sure. Winners own their response, not their circumstances. From the legend
Even
himself.
big Nick Saban fan, you can tell I'm wearing an Alabama hat, not because of Nick Saban, but my daughter goes to school down there. There's so many things that happen, and all it does is make you upset trying to something that's out of your control. So if you can just focus on the things you can control, then you have some power. Then there's some things you can make an impact, and it's going to absolutely change your focus. And now you're actually doing something versus sitting there stewing where you're not doing anything. So it's that piece is absolutely huge. All right,
Mhm.
let's see the next one. Celebrates team success. Be the first to cheer, creates connection. Teams notice who claps and who doesn't, right? Andre Iguodala, love this. Mentored and celebrated teammates even from the bench. If you guys watch Cam Scatterbo at all for the Giants this year, rookie, just a missile. There's this play where he's blocking. The other guy the receiver catches the ball, first down, and after he laid out two guys on the blocks, he's the first one there to celebrate with a guy just making one first down. Wasn't a touchdown, wasn't a something great for didn't win the game on that play. Wasn't even celebrating his blocks, just the wide receiver downfield. So that is outstanding. That is outstanding. Um, Corny, let's why do you think celebrating you yourself? Why does it matter when you're celebrating someone else's wins?
Mhm. It builds trust between you and that person. Obviously it's a connection, sense of belonging, and it's way more fun. It makes things fun when you get to celebrate instead of having beef with your teammates or instead of throwing a tantrum because it wasn't your stat. It's just the whole experience is more fun when you celebrate.
And what goes around comes around. You push that team in, they do well, they will turn around and be thrilled for you when you do well. It's not always gonna be
It's
perfect.
contagious.
It is contagious, and it's not
Yeah.
perfect, right? There's ups and downs, but the more you give and pour into others, you got a better shot of getting at least some of that back in return. And if you're never
Mhm.
pouring into others, there's a real good chance you're not getting any of that back.
Communicates like a leader. Great teams are loud. They talk on defense. They call switches. They communicate. This can help prevent breakdowns and it boosts confidence. Effective communication increases team execution scores by 26%. 26% in competitive settings.
Also, look at it this way, in the football world, you're playing linebacker and the guy next to you is out of position. You see it, you communicate it, you get that guy in better position. Now you guys have a team, have a better shot of making a play. But if you turn it back to you, that other guy is out of position, there's a good chance you could get beat. So increased chance you're going to get beat. Also increased chance you might have to do more or get injured. So maybe you're out of position and someone gets you in position better. You're now less likely to be injured. So just your own safety is on the line if you guys communicate better.
Mhm.
Let's move on to the next one. Let's see what that one says. Stays ready.
Yeah, whether starting or subbing in, you've got to be physically and mentally locked in. You, whether I'm starting or subbing or just benched, you are a part of a team that is competing. Prepared players perform 19% better in late game situations. Whenever games go to overtime, I love this in football and basketball. When they go to overtime, you do not see the more talented team win. You see the team that was more prepared and disciplined because it's no longer, first of all, it's crunch time, but second, you're exhausted. And so it no longer relies on just talent or athleticism. It relies on who was more prepared and who was more disciplined. I love this quote, "You don't rise to the occasion, you rise to your level of preparation." That speaks for itself right there.
How many times does the starting NFL quarterback go down in a season? What's really telling is that once that starting quarterback goes down, the number 2 comes in. The number 2 has a lot less reps, not used to game speed. So oftentimes they play a little bit slower because 'cause they're not quite as prepared. And oftentimes in that first 1 to 2 games when the number 2 is running, they go down also because they weren't prepared. So injuries happen everywhere. Your number is right around the corner if you're on the bench. You don't try to get ready. You wanna stay ready because your number's gonna get called. Alright, grade 8 mirror. I want 10 teammates like me. These is self-evaluation questions. Do I raise or drain energy? How do I respond to adversity? And what do coaches trust me with? So I like to quantify things. Would I want 10 teammates like me? I would score that on a scale 1 to 10. 10 would be outstanding. Maybe you score yourself as a 6 or have someone else score you, and they score you as maybe as a 7. See if 1 or 2 weeks later reevaluate, see what your score will be from yourself and from the teammate. Um, when I see things like that, do I raise or drain energy? Yeah, you should do some self-reflection, but ask another teammate. Ask one of your teammates to be your accountability ally. Hey, let's make sure we're raising energy all through practice and game this week, and let's score each other. So I want to make sure that if I'm working on this, I'm going to drag someone along with me, and we're both going to work on it. I like when I can partner up, and then we're in it together. How do I respond to adversity? Ask someone. How do you think how do I do? Do I slump? Do I get pissed off? Do I just fly off the handle? I know how I think I respond. I'm gonna think I'm perfect. I'm outstanding. I'm gonna wait for my wife or my coach or someone at the gym tell me, hey Jim, maybe not so much. So get a third party objective ally you can partner with.
You can also go back and watch your film
Mm,
way as well. You'll see. You will see. Mhm.
I like that. All right, next slide. This week, pick two. Celebrate someone else's success. Own one. All right. So bring energy to warm-ups. Use your voice early. Own one mistake publicly. Celebrates. For me, I'm gonna pick. I like to use my voice, and I like to own my mistakes. I like to build trust. So owning mistakes helps with that. Courtney, what do you think? What would you pick?
Definitely celebrate someone else's success, and I would add on to that and try to find a success that's not obvious or that's not results based on a stat line. I think that would be really meaningful and definitely bring energy to warm-ups. I think that sets the tone right there. That sets the tone for practice. That sets the tone for the game. If everybody's chit chatting about how the opponents look or how they're sore, that just as much as bringing the energy is contagious in a high and good way, just as contagious in the bad way.
Sure does.
Hmm.
The other thing, you don't have to be loud and screaming at people. You can just simply I can come up to Courtney, "Hey, Courtney, I'm gonna let you know I'm ready to go today." I'm talking in this normal voice, "Hey, I'm ready to go today. I'm gonna push. Watch. Watch this. If you see me slacking off, let me know, but I'm ready to push today." Simply just talking like that about what you're intending to do without being loud, someone's like, "Oh, man, alright, let's go." I
Yeah,
know
that's exactly. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to too.
if we're training in the gym, and I coach a lot of athletes, there's one phrase that I rarely say to folks, but if I say, "Hey, today we're going to a dark place," then we all know that, hey, we're gonna be dialed in, and it's gonna be painful training, but we're gonna get after it, and so people their whole mind shift changes 'cause they know what's coming. So and I might just whisper it, and I say, "Hey, we're going to a dark place today," and people are like, "Oh, man, okay, alright." There's no energy there, there's nothing that crazy, but people know what's coming. It sets the tone. All right, next one. This season, I am the teammate who. Who are you as a teammate? I would pick like 3 action verbs. Courtney, what do you think? Why is it important for athletes to actually stop and think about who they are as a teammate and what they bring to the team? Why do you think this exercise is important?
It builds self-awareness. That's the most important thing right there, which is a skill you need outside of sports too, in a relationship, in your friendships, in your career. You need to know where you stand and how well you're doing. Um,
Mhm.
and then within sports, it clarifies your value, role on the team. It brings value. And then third, it's what coaches look for and it's what helps teams win. So if we haven't convinced you that this is extremely beneficial and necessary for you as an athlete and for your teammates. If that's not enough, if you're looking to develop in your sport, if you're looking to go higher levels, it's what coaches look for and it's how teams win.
I like challenging the players, like, before the season starts, if you guys wanna write your own little one paragraph press release and use this as the question, this I am a teammate who X, who brought energy and focus and drive at every practice. So that as if some newspaper were writing an article, "Hey, Jim is the athlete that brought, focus, energy, and drive," right? So you wanna write that yourself, and that way it kinda holds you a little bit accountable. Or maybe at the halfway point, for the second half of the season, I'm gonna be this, or in the off season, I'm gonna be X. Always saying it and writing it down has a little bit more accountability, and it helps, crystallize what your actual intent is. I like that,
If you need some ideas, look at any of Mendoza's after game interviews right there. He was
right?
very specific and intentional about
Right.
who he is as a leader and as a teammate, and he communicated it pretty much after every single game.
Alright, next one. Elite teammates build elite team. Daily choices, consistent habits. Alright, so I like if you guys seen The Last Dance with Jordan, it's a documentary, it's awesome. He was winning scoring titles early on. It wasn't until Phil Jackson taught him and convinced him, "Hey, we can bring other teammates into the fold, get them activated, get them scoring." It loosens things up for him. It made the defense change. It made their own teammates happier or more willing to put out, and then they went to that next level where they started winning more, and then and that it wasn't just scoring titles, it was NBA championships. So even
Mhm.
with one of the best of all time, wasn't gonna win anything until he was building his teammates around him. What do you think about that, Courtney?
Just inspirational. What a great person to model after
Mhm.
as you develop your identity as an athlete and on your athletic journey.
We led off with the brain is trainable, just like the body's trainable. Teammates are trainable. We want you to be a better teammate that way it impacts everyone around you. Then it comes back to you. So no one's perfect, but you show up consistently every day is a good step. Showing up consistently every day, trying to improve a little is even better step. Think about what you heard, pass it on to someone else. Pass it on to another coach. And make sure they're here at our next office hours. Courtney, where can people find you when they're looking for you?
You can find me on Instagram, counselor.court. You can find me on Psychology Today. Google me. I
Right?
win.
I win, Google me. My
Not
wife's gonna
everyone's
my
hitting,
wife
but
will
I have
love
a
that. My wife went to IU, her daughter went to IU, been down there a few times, man, great place. Courtney, man, I had a great time today. It's my first time
yeah.
working with you, but I could just tell right before we even got started and throughout that you were gonna be knowledgeable and a lot of fun. So, everything we talked about for our athletes on the court, so I enjoyed that. So thank you for the gift of your time and your knowledge and your willingness to help, get everyone better, and I'm looking forward to working with you again.
Yeah, I'll be back in a couple weeks.
Alright, for everyone else, reach out to us. We're gonna help you and anyone around you get better, so that's what we do.
Mhm.
Until next time, see ya.
Bye.